What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news video. The day after um, a disappointing result. I will keep calling it a disappointing result, despite having a debate with a lot of people on it. But um, before I get into today's news on the game, I will talk about that in the live that will come up after this daily video. So if you have watched it, this one, check the live show or just watch it on replay afterwards because I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about Scanavino speaking and to me sounding a bit worrying what he was saying. I'm gonna talk about Allegri changing tune in terms of his way of thinking of the situation pre-game and post-game, and I'm gonna talk about Danilo or like just in general Danilo and certain players because that's a hot topic at this moment in time. But in this video, I'm gonna talk about guess or not transfers, which is very strange and not so strange. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and hit that bell notification. Now, you would think that considering our situation at this moment in time, situation the club is in, and probably what still has to come for the club, you would think that transfers is the last thing we should be worrying about. We shouldn't really be looking into that and all those things. And I would agree with that, but I think considering the situation as well, players leaving is a big possibility because I will talk about it on the live, but I think it's going to be very hard to get those 15 points back for so many reasons, I believe. Not saying it's set in stone, but that's what I believe. Looking at how things are going and how those points deduction came to fruition, I still believe, I fully believe it's going to stand. It's going to remain. And then we have big trouble because now all the players can come out and say, all united and all those things. But at the end of the season, when you're in the Europa League, and maybe something of another punishment comes in for wages or the UEFA chips in, that all united and all those things, well, a lot of players, could throw that out of the window and just jump ship. And it's a reality. Like, you need to keep that into consideration. So on that note, you'll need to look at transfer news because players might leave. Even if you have a possible transfer ban, who knows? You can still let players go because they probably will ask to leave. Not all of them, but who knows? But McKennie is one of those players I think the club is willing to sell, even if there were no bans or no punishment or whatever. The club is just open to sell him because he has some value, and I don't think he is a fantastic player personally in general. Now, yesterday, I thought he played well. He was playing as a right back most of the time, basically. He did well, and I don't put all the blame on him all season because he's playing positions he probably shouldn't be playing. But he's asked to play, so you also need to keep that into consideration. But just purely on a technical level, I just don't like him. I don't think he's good enough. But Giovanni Albanese spoke, and he came with some hot news, and he said Arsenal is on the trail of McKennie. The talks held by the club with the player's agent could soon become something more and ignite the market finale. Juve are willing to negotiate for a fair offer between 20 and 25 million plus bonuses. Then he goes on saying inquiries have come in, but the player has not shown much interest so far because he would like to move to a top club should he leave Juve, basically. If the Premier League remains the most likely destination in case of a transfer, one must still keep an eye on the Bundesliga, because he played at Schalke. Now, do I believe Arsenal are in for him? No. Like, I actually don't. I don't. I don't. I think that clubs that are in for him is like the second part player clubs he doesn't want to join. Lower team clubs. I don't believe Arsenal are in for him. I just don't see it. Um, so I think he's gonna stay. I'll keep saying it in January. I believe he's just gonna stay. I don't think he's going nowhere. It will be something for the summer, and he will be on the top of the list of the club to sell. because he has a value. He has a value. And I don't think it's really working out, for him. I think he needs to play in his own position, do his own thing, and he cannot do that with us. So it's kind of pointless to use him on the wing, sticking at right back. Like it's hindering him. It's hindering the squad, but especially him. Like he's not developing. So I don't think it's a good situation at this moment in time for any of the parties, nor Juve, nor Weston himself. So I would be totally fine with them. I want him to leave because I think we. And again, I'm talking about. I don't know if we can get better. Do we have money? What punishment is coming? We don't know. But in an ideal world, you need to have better. But I don't believe Arsenal in for him now. I would be absolutely shocked, like absolutely stunned. Then again, I didn't believe they were in for Kiwior, and they signed him in a couple of hours. They signed him, so you never know. But it seems like an odd signing, doesn't it? They do need midfielders, I believe, because if you include, I forgot the player who's injured, Smith Rowe. El Neni isn't all that, and I think he's only signed a 1-year deal, so he's a free agent again. And Lokonga, well, I didn't like him in Belgium. I still don't like him at Arsenal. I think it's too high of a level. Like it's just too high for him. So they do need players, but I don't know if they need McKennie. I think they can get better. I'm just being honest. So let's see. But that's the situation, I guess. Also, Giovanni added that if we sell McKennie now, we could go for Fresneda. I don't believe for a minute that the agent representing Fresneda is like, yeah, Juve is a great situation at this moment in time. Join them. I don't believe that. Now, Arsenal and Dortmund are in for Fresneda, but the talks are that he can stay on loan until the end of the season to Valladolid. Maybe that's a doorway open, telling his agent everything will be fixed. You will see it this summer. But if I'm an agent of a player, fan or no, like I'm a fan of the club, I would advise strongly not to join Juve at this moment in time because we don't know what's going on. The players don't really know what's going on, and neither the club, to be honest. Going off certain statements. So it's gonna be very difficult. Also, Cherubini is suspended. We brought back Calvo, which is also a funny story because he left because of problems with Agnelli and the wife and all those things. Now he came back and he's taking over the role basically from Cherubini, and the persons working under Cherubini, scouts and all those things, they need to report to Calvo now at this moment in time. So it's all a mess at this moment in time. It is. Like you wouldn't like this situation doesn't scream great. It doesn't scream we're gonna sign players or we know what we're doing because it's a complete mess. We're switching people in and out of the club during the season. We have people in the club, high at the top who have no idea what the footballing world is for obvious reasons, which I will discuss in tomorrow's video. They're there for a good, simple reason, and it's not really footballing. It is what it is. It's not footballing reasons, and that's not good in general. That's not good. So keep that in mind. Now, I want to finish this video with a Vlahovic story because everybody was going wild on Twitter, and it was from Fabrizio Romano, who was talking to a Man U YouTube channel, and he spoke about Vlahovic. He spoke, but he didn't say much. Actually, he didn't say anything. Like he just, stirred the pot. Like, like he made a big deal out of no information. But I'll put it out there. He said Juve will try to keep their first team players for the rest of the season, so any January signings seem unlikely. In the summer, keep an eye on Vlahovic. He could be one of the strikers in the domino effect. Now he says keep an eye, could be, yes, he could leave, he could stay, who knows. So there was no information. It was just a hypothetical because he was asked about it, and he answered with, yeah, he could. We could sign players, we could not. We could get our 15 points back. We might not get our 15 points back. It's all like there's no concrete information as of now. Will clubs be in for Vlahovic? 100%. If we're out of Europe and point deduction and maybe transfer ban, will Vlahovic push for a transfer? Maybe. Who knows? Like Fabrizio said, it could happen. It could not happen. So it's all guessing at this moment in time. That's something for the summer. But the club situation is going to be playing a big part of it, because if the club is in this mess, how many players do want to stay in the club when they need a complete rebuild and it'll take a few years times? Like, players have dreams. Like, they're not all Juve fans, you know. They're not all Del Piero or Nedved or Buffon or whatever. So I wouldn't be mad if players are like, I don't know, because I'm looking at the club and I'm like, I don't know. So you need to look at that and you need to be kind of sensitive a little bit. But I do believe that that's something for the summer, obviously. But I'm gonna wrap this video up. Again, stay tuned for the live. Catch it live, catch a replay, because I'm gonna talk about a lot of things. Also tomorrow, I will put out a video as of why I believe, Alcon is thinking about potentially selling the club or big part of the club in the near future, in terms of 5 years or so. But that's just my theory, what I believe. So stay tuned for that video as well. Like this one, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and we will see you back very soon. Ciao.